Hi, my name's Charlie Ward, and you're checking out Scoop B Radio.
You don't talk Knicks without the legendary point guard, Charlie Ward, joining us. Brother, what's going on?
I guess not a whole lot, but a lot is going on. I'm coaching high school basketball, doing some public speaking, and also getting ready to tackle a big project, building a sports and wellness facility.
Tell me more about the last thing you said, the sports wellness facility.
Well, it's a project that our foundation is looking to build for the community in the Big Bend area down in Tallahassee area. And it's hopefully something that can inspire a community to be able to talk about, bring sports to the area, more sports, and also wellness component as well. So we're just trying to make an impact in the community.
Tallahassee is a great place. The Rattlers at FAMU over there, FSU, of course, over there. When you looked at the trajectory of just you playing both basketball and football, a lot of people were amazed by that. But then you saw the opposite. You saw Donovan McNabb, who could hoop, but he also played quarterback at Syracuse. Do you think then in your lifetime you'll ever see somebody who's a two-sport athlete have the ability to maybe pull a Deion Sanders to play basketball and football at the same time?
Well, Deion played baseball. He was a three-sport guy. He ran track, played baseball and football. I didn't make it that far. I made it to basketball and football, but basketball and football won't ever get done again. I'll probably be the last one to do it, just because now in this day and age, you got to be one sport heavy, and so in order to make it, and I think a lot of guys are doing that, and so I think I may be the last one to pull that one off.
And you won a Heisman. Did your position as a quarterback in college football prepare you to be a better point guard, or did playing the point guard position prepare you to be a better quarterback?
Well, they work both ways. I think they both prepared me to be the best that I could be at both positions because they were very similar. I was distributing basketball to my teammates, as well as being the leader of the groups, and so they really helped me prepare for one another.
When I looked at the Knicks teams that you were on, I really feel like Anthony Mason was ahead of his time at the point forward position, because you see a lot of guys today, any iteration of LeBron James handling the rock, Jokic as a center, moving the way he does within his offense. How much did you appreciate Anthony Mason's playmaking ability?
Well, Mace was a force to be reckoned with. He was a little bit before his time because he could handle the basketball and make plays off the dribble. Defensively, he could guard, multiple positions or all five positions. And so, he was definitely a great force to be reckoned with and a little bit before his time.
Patrick Ewing, legendary. John Starks, legendary. You, legendary. Those Knicks teams, to me, just exemplified greatness, but at the same time, the Orlando Magic, the Chicago Bulls had other ideas. When you look at Patrick Ewing as a center, is there anybody in today's NBA that even comes close to his footwork and his ability on the floor?
Well, he was a little different. And during my era, the center position was guys like him. You had Akeem, you had Alonzo, you had Shaq. All those guys were very similar, which in this day and age, you have Jokic now, who is more of handling the basketball and playing on the perimeter a little bit more, but he can, go into the post. But it's just different, different skill sets, but they're all productive. But I was grateful to be able to play with the guys like Tim Duncan, Yao Ming, and all those guys were very, very good during their time.
Tim Duncan and Yao Ming, they're exemplary basketball players. I want to talk about them, but New York is home, so I have a few questions about the Knicks at large. When you look at your time with the Knicks, what were you most proud of personally and as a collective?
Well, one, I made it 9.5 years as a non-superstar. I was grateful for that, and being able to play in the NBA Finals 1 year and the Conference Finals a few years, and we made it to the playoffs 6 straight years. And so I was able to see a lot there in New York for 9.5 years. I had a lot of teammates, but the most thing I really enjoyed was the city. I got a chance to enjoy the city, enjoy the fans. They were authentic. When you were really doing well, they were really there, and when you weren't doing well, they booed you. And so you got what you got, and you had to understand that. But I really enjoyed just being a part of that fan base and playing in the Mecca. Not many people get an opportunity to play in the Garden as their home.
You played in the finals where it was a lockout-shortened season. You guys did the improbable, 8th seed, going to the finals. When you watched the Miami Heat, did you get flashbacks?
They were very similar to us. We made it all the way to the finals and ran into a team that was much better, healthier at the time, and so they had the same results. And so I just saw them and us in the same light, and we got to the same place. But it was an improbable run that they put up, and for us, it was very similar. It would have been nice if we would have had Larry and Patrick to play against, Tim and David, but that wasn't the case, and we did the best we could, and we were grateful to be there.
Is Allen Houston or Latrell Sprewell you guys' Jimmy Butler? Which one?
They're a mix of Jimmy Butler in a lot of ways, but I'm glad we had both of those guys because they were different. They were both scorers, but they worked together as scorers, and that's what made our team successful.
You played in the finals during the lockout-shortened season, and a lot of people talked about the Spurs' championships, and they say it doesn't count. But let me finish. When you looked at the Los Angeles Lakers, many people looked at the bubble championship and said it didn't count. From your experience playing in the lockout-shortened season and then seeing what you saw with the bubble, did you see any comparisons in the way that people detailed those championship runs for both the Lakers and the Spurs?
Well, the people on the outside say it doesn't count. They have a trophy, and they have rings to say otherwise, and so that's all that counts, because when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, they're going to have in the record books those two teams as the champions. And so I like the outside opinions, and which is great, but when it's reality, they're both champions, and they will go down in the history books as champions.
When you were teammates with Tim Duncan and you were a Spur briefly, what was the difference between, for you, just culture-wise, but also just organizational-wise, playing for the Knicks and also playing for the Spurs?
Well, I learned a lot from the Spurs because I was with the Knicks for a long time, and the Spurs was definitely more family-friendly when it came down to the families being around, families being able to go on trips specifically. And so it was more of a family atmosphere when it came down to, as I'll say, family-friendly organization. And, they even had child care for the families during the game, which, that was unheard of a lot of times. But it was just that minor difference that I saw, but I enjoyed both places for sure.
If you had to go back in time and maybe played with Yao Ming earlier on, do you think that your connectivity with him would have allowed him to maybe have played longer?
For him, his injuries were the ones that cut his career short. But I got an opportunity to play with him for a year, and I got hurt that year as well. But he was a force to reckon with. He's a big guy, and he worked. That's the one thing I admired about Yao was he worked to be who he was, and his personal trainer was Tom Thibodeau. So he was going to work if Tibbs was working with him, as you know.
Perfect segue, because I have more Knicks questions. Jalen Brunson, what do you like about his game?
Jalen is a guy that is productive. He can score, he can assist. He's ball dominant, but his ball dominance is not overwhelming or overpowering because he gets everyone else involved. And, you know, he's just that leader that you need on the floor. Definitely a point guard for sure that can score, but he can also get everyone else involved. So I remember when he was a little boy running around the facility, played with his dad, Rick. And so I've seen him grow up and just happy for him as he's back in New York, the New York area, and he's getting an opportunity to showcase his talent.
What do you make of the Knicks season overall?
I thought it was a very good season to build on for this next year coming up. And I hate to see a few guys leave, like Obi Toppin. I thought he played and his energy was very good off the bench, but they'll continue to build. They got DiVincenzo there, so now they have the Villanova crew that won the national championship together. And so we'll see, you know, how they all continue to progress over the summer, moving into the new season. And hopefully, you know, with the new in-season tournament, that may be something to help build towards the postseason.
Post-retirement, have you ever thought about getting into coaching?
Well, I am coaching. I'm a high school coach. I coached with the Houston Rockets my 2 years after I retired. And then I went pros to the high school level because I wanted more time with the family. So that's where I am now.
Life is about balance. I appreciate you making time for me.
I appreciate you having me.
Respect.
Scoop.
My man.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir.